Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves because something explosive is unfolding in the heart of Westminster right now. Keir Starmer, the so-called steady hand of Labour, is on the verge of a monumental U-turn that's sending shockwaves throughout the entire party. This isn't merely another flip-flop. This is a betrayal of epic proportions, sparked by national outrage that's boiling over like never before. We're talking about Labour's covert plan to introduce what critics are calling a backdoor blasphemy law, under the pretense of tackling Islamophobia. But wait, leaks from inside Number 10 suggest Starmer's team is panicking, scrapping the plan amid fears it'll stifle free speech and hand radicals a free pass. If you've been furious about Labour's endless reversals, this one's going to make your blood boil. Hit that like button right now if you're sick of the establishment's games, and subscribe for more unfiltered truth bombs. You won't see this exposed on the BBC. This is where we call it like it is. Let's dive straight into the heart of this scandal, folks. For months, Labour has been forcing this so-called Islamophobia law down our throats. A twisted idea cooked up by Angela Rayner. Yeah, the Deputy PM Starmer sidelined when she became too much of a liability. This bill aimed to impose a legal definition on Islamophobia, turning anti-Muslim hatred into a specific crime under UK law. On paper, it sounds like they're fighting hate, pointing to a shocking spike. Over 3,000 reported incidents against Muslims in 2024 alone. But peel back the layers and it's a nightmare waiting to happen. Critics are screaming that this could sneakily slide into a full-blown blasphemy law, criminalizing anyone who dares criticize radical ideologies or even spark honest debates about religion. Fast forward to right now, the 19th of October 2025, and the dam's bursting with leaks from the corridors of Whitehall. Senior ministers are scrambling, abandoning the plan like a hot potato amid mounting terror of public fury. Here, Starmer's shadowy puppet master, Morgan McSweeney, is reportedly spearheading the charge against it, adamant it doesn't see the light of day. Insiders at Downing Street whispered to the press, "Forget watering it down. We're gutting it entirely. No way are we birthing a blasphemy law. That's a fundamental betrayal of British values." Explosive, right? This flip-flop didn't sprout from some noble awakening. It's raw, unfiltered panic. Just look back at the Labour conference in Liverpool earlier this month. Communities Minister Steve Reid stood there practically waving the white flag to a crowd of jaw-dropped delegates. "Protecting free speech is paramount in my mind," he boomed. "It must come first. We won't tolerate blasphemy laws sneaking in through the back door." What a 180. Mere months ago, Labour was hyping this as a triumph for equality and anti-discrimination. Now they're admitting defeat because the backlash is deafening. Britain, the birthplace of free expression, think Magna Carta, think fighting tyrants for the right to speak truth, was inches from this censorship trap, all dressed up in woke wrapping. Fiaz Mughal from Faith Matters dropped the truth bomb on GB News. Angela Rayner was all in on this definition. Steve Reid? Not a chance. A massive split's brewing? We must rally against it. It'll jail innocent folks for speaking out. Our existing laws are plenty? He's spot on. Labour's own MPs are at each other's throats, not defending liberty, but squabbling over how deep to bow to their ideological cronies. This isn't just policy wonkery, it's an assault on what makes Britain great. If this had passed, everyday debates could turn into court dates. Thank heavens the outrage from ordinary folks is forcing Starmer's hand. But let's be real, this U-turn exposes Labour's rot. No spine, just survival mode. But hold on, patriots. This isn't some lone wolf flip-flop, hell no. This is the latest chapter in a humiliating saga that's ripping the mask off Labour, exposing them as the spineless, elitist cowards they've always been. Since Starmer wormed his way into Number 10, it's been a non-stop parade of U-turns, each one more gutless than the last. Let's drag this hall of shame into the light, shall we? Kick off with January's fiasco. They slashed winter fuel payments, leaving pensioners shivering in the cold whilst virtue signaling about tough choices. But when the nation erupted, grannies protesting, headlines screaming, Labour caved like a house of cards. Disgusting. Fast forward to June and another belly flop, stonewalling a national inquiry into grooming gangs until victims' families, campaigners, and even rogue Labour MPs revolted. These horrors have torn communities apart, but Starmer's mob chose political correctness over raw justice every time. July brought the welfare cuts debacle. Bam. Another reversal after their own backbenches and activists howled in outrage. And now this Islamophobia mess cements the fourth major U-turn in less than a year, with ministers scrambling to ditch the blasphemy trap amid blistering backlash. Even more humiliating, recent U-turns on bird-friendly building rules and welfare reforms that wiped out billions in savings, straining the budget to breaking point. Political pundit Eve McQueen nailed it on GB News. It may not shatter Labour, but for some MPs, this reeks of the party ditching its moral core on anti-discrimination. Spot on. Even their insiders are whispering, what the hell does Labour even stand for anymore? Free speech one day, pandering to far-left identity warriors the next. This regime is petrified of the people, and damn right they should be. Reactive, gutless, zero principles. They flirt with radical agendas, then bolt when everyday Brits roar back. No vision, just frantic flip-flopping to cling to power. Meanwhile, who's rising from the ashes? Nigel Farage and Reform UK, that's who. As Labour implodes, Reform surges, amplifying the cries of the ignored masses. Polls are screaming it. Reform UK hitting a record 35% in the latest BMG survey, more than double Labour's crumbling share, leading by a whopping 15 points. YouGov's got them at 31%, breathing fire down Labour's neck in key battlegrounds. Farage's roar, no BS take on immigration, Brexit, and British pride is hitting home because he spits truths the elite bury. Look at immigration. Labour's limp policies have turned our borders into a joke, with 2025 crossings smashing last year's records. Reform thunders, seize back control, or net zero lunacy. Labour's eco-fanatics hiking energy bills to crippling heights, whilst Reform pushes smart, family-first fixes. This free speech U-turn? Pure gold for Reform, proving Starmer's crew is untrustworthy slime. And the global vibe, with Trump storming back, fueling conservative tsunamis, Farage is soaking it up. Across the Atlantic, J.D. Vance's blunt populism mirrors Reform's blueprint. Labour? They're the fossilized establishment, doomed by their own betrayals. Listen up, true Brits. You're the unsung warriors in this epic clash. The tidal wave of national fury that's bulldozing this U-turn didn't bubble up from Westminster's ivory towers. It exploded from the gritty streets, the local boozers, and the digital battlegrounds where real voices thunder. Social media, it's a raging inferno. On X, hashtags like Starmer U-turn and defend free speech are exploding, with users unleashing raw truth. One patriot fired off, Labour's U-turn express just derailed the grift. Another blasted, blasphemy by backdoor? No way. As the backlash hits fever pitch, even insiders are crowing. This was barreling down the tracks like a freight train a few months ago. Big shout out to everyone who called this out. Protests are igniting across the land. In hotspots like London and beyond, crowds have mobilized against this free speech assault, waving signs screaming, "No blasphemy laws!" and chanting for British values. Moderate voices, including from Muslim communities via groups like Faith Matters, are roaring that current laws pack enough punch. No need for this censorship cloak. It's crystal clear. This isn't blind hate, it's fierce defense of open debate. The People's Revolt has Labour cornered, bending not from principle but sheer terror of the mob they've unleashed. Media hounds are feasting too. GB News is ripping Starmer nightly, with panels exposing the rot. Labour braces for another U-turn as ministers squirm over backdoor blasphemy law. Leaks are gushing from Number 10, sketching a portrait of total meltdown. MPs at war, activists seething, Labour's fragile alliance splintering like cheap glass. Labour scraps Islamophobia definition amid fears it could threaten free speech, screams the headlines, proving the elite's plot is crumbling. But zoom out. This fury feeds into massive wars. Enter Nigel Farage, torching Labour's digital ID nightmare on GB News. "I will not be having digital ID. Put me in prison. Not a problem." He warns it's pure dystopian control, not convenience, echoing Sir David Davis on surveillance creep. Farage's debanking victory, proof we can smash back. "This isn't about convenience, it's about control," he thunders. This U-turn screams it. When the masses rise against elite tyranny, even Starmer's spineless squad crumbles. The people's power is unstoppable. Peering into the crystal ball, folks, this blistering U-turn on the Islamophobia law isn't just a slapdash retreat. It's the death knell for Labour's crumbling empire, a glaring symptom of a regime lost at sea, flip-flopping from pandering to woke extremists one minute to scampering away from the flames of public fury the next. What's on the horizon? More betrayals, that's what. Another immigration cave-in as crossings smash 2025 records. A net zero meltdown, hiking your bills to the stratosphere. Or Rachel Reeves's whispered 15 billion Brexit black hole, ditching EU scraps whilst the economy tanks. The elite's ivory tower is ablaze, and Reform UK is the heroic brigade the forgotten masses have been begging for, ready to douse the fire with common-sense policies that put Britain first. Picture it. A reform-led Britain with ironclad borders, roaring national pride, and energy bills that don't bankrupt families. Nigel Farage, the people's champion, unleashes hell. Starmer's U-turn, crystal-clear proof Labour's shackled by radicals and globalist puppets. Time to seize real change for the working man, not the Westminster swamp. Speculative? Hardly. The polls are screaming apocalypse for Starmer. Reform UK's hit a scorching 36% in fresh surveys, their highest ever, whilst Labour's vote share plummets to rock-bottom lows. Electoral calculus crunches the numbers. Reform storms to 367 seats with a thumping majority of 84, leaving Labour humiliated at just 117. YouGov's got Reform surging by 15 points ahead. BMG polls clocking them at 35%. It's a populist tidal wave, folks. This could pulverize Labour's fragile majority, sparking a full-blown revolution where British identity reigns supreme and elites get booted to the curb. With Trump's conservative wildfire raging across the pond, inspiring J.D. Vance-style grit, Farage's Reform is primed to dominate. More U-turns loom. Bird-friendly buildings ditched. Welfare savings vaporized in a $5 billion flip-flop frenzy, straining budgets and exposing Starmer's spineless core. The future? Blindingly bright without Labour's betrayals, as Reform ignites hope for secure borders, affordable energy, and unyielding British pride. The establishment's doom is sealed. The people's dawn is breaking, so there you have it, folks. Starmer's massive U-turn amid national outrage exposes Labour as the flip-flopping frauds they are. This isn't just a win for free speech. It's a victory for the people over the elite. But the fight's not over. Stay vigilant. What are your thoughts? Should Starmer resign over this betrayal? Is Reform UK Britain's future? Drop your comments below. Let's spark a debate. Smash that like button if you're with us. Subscribe for more exposés, and please click super thanks to support the channel. Your backing gives us the motivation and funds to keep delivering the truth. Our next video, a bombshell on Labour's immigration disaster. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching. Take care. God bless Britain. Goodbye.